Heidi ho. Well, here we go. Oh. Uh, so, big day tomorrow for all the free world. Yeah. Yeah, we're done. We're done. But this should learn y'all a good lesson about putting your faith in man, right? Um, and that goes to the same thing. There are times to get a lawyer. There are times not to get a lawyer. There are times to get a lawyer as co-counsel, and times not to get a lawyer as co-counsel. And so what my wish is to try and help folks figure this shit out. I'm supposed to have my internet back up tomorrow, and actually a telephone, because I got no telephone. I got fuck all. If I had to dial 911, emergency, ambulance, fire department, I don't call the coppers. Never have. It's not the way of my people. But if I had to find fire department or somebody, I couldn't, because that's it. That's all we have. Broadband over the phone line, which is still faster than the other system I had. But so putting your faith in a man, it's not really a good idea. Even, isn't the road to hell paved with good intent? These old-timey truisms, they're around for a reason. They're not just to be knocked off. Why are folks learning lessons that have already been learnt by societies, communities and countries and people? And what I mean is, in the past, in my lifetime, there have been countries that went socialist, and then boom, they were in a tyrannical communist country. Boom, just that quick. It starts off with attacking anybody who doesn't say things that you don't agree with. It goes to anybody who, poo-poos the official narrative of public servants. It goes to, people who live in the country, losing their homes for whatever wonderful reason, and being shifted off to the cities. It goes to the taking of arms. You disarm a people, you get rid of free speech, you get them out of the country, herd them into the city where they're at the government's mercy. So that the game being played here on us right now, under the guise of, the Kung Flu, it's just the same old shit. And I mean, they didn't just start with the Kung Flu. I was thinking today when I was out walking the dog, if I was to go back, where would I go back and start from? Okay, I think I go back about 30 years. Start from there. I mean, things were already happening back then. And, progressively moving along for the establishment, for their big New World Order. And, but back then, you still had the semblance of a free world. So public servants and institutions had to pretend, that they cared about what folks thought. Now they don't, So when the narrative started with the global warming, which was the late 80s, but 90s was really when they hit, they had computer models. So the computer models are set up by computer savvy folks, and all the computer models have been wrong. If you go back 30 years, all the computer models were wrong. Now they had to shut down the narrative. They had to shut down the speak about it. They had to shut down the discussion. So you would just get attacked, socially, publicly besmirched at the time. just because you became a global warming denier, a climate change denier. Now the climate's, everybody knows, like anybody with half a thought knows the climate's been changing since the beginning of time, right? Um, yeah. I don't want to get into the argument. Blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. So they fed that narrative. They kept feeding that narrative and kept feeding that narrative until they went through all our school systems. Then we had these weirdo, brainwashed folks just teaching it like it's all a fact. None of their predictions ever came true, but it's still a fact. Just 2 years ago, oh yeah, we got 4 years left and that's the end. And what they were saying, well, it's the end, we can never reverse it. You can't, you're not God. You're not going to fuck with the weather. The earth is going to be around a lot longer than man is. Even if Gates gets up there and seeds the atmosphere, yeah, he may kill almost every living thing on this planet. But life has a way. Life always has a way. So, and I'm sure I'm sure in 300 years, 800 years, 200 years, 100 years, whenever's concrete fucking atmospheric seed to block out the sun disappears and they all come out of their bunkers. And they're not bunkers. These guys have whole cities underground, okay, for the elite. The folks that are ruling you right now. But when they come out of these underground bunkers, and start to populate the world again, they're probably all going to be a bunch of inbred tards. I think most of them are now. And just because you lucked out, just because you happen to luck out and make yourself a fortune, doesn't make you smart. It doesn't make you better than anybody else. It makes you fucking lucky. Just makes you lucky. What else? So yeah, going back 30 years. So they just pushed and pushed and pushed. They yelled loud enough and kept the narrative and just kept pushing the lie, right? And we're almost at a position now where, everybody that got sucked into it's going to say, well, hey, it didn't happen. So they got the new narrative with this new, this whole new Kung Flu. And they're doing the exact same thing right now. Now, to get away with these things, what they had to do is they had to destroy the family structure. And what I mean is, you ruin the economy to the point where pretty much everybody in the family has to work to keep a roof over your head. And then they feed you bullshit. Society, it's a social credit system. Even though we're about to be on a 5G social credit system, which they're doing, still, it's a social credit system, and you get ostracized if you don't believe the narrative. You feel like shit because you can't afford what the neighbors have because everybody's supposed to live that way. So you go further into debt because you feel like shit because you're working 2 jobs to keep a roof over your kid's head, but now you feel guilty because they don't have that new plastic piece of shit made by slave labor in China. So you go that route, and all we did in the last 30 years is feed the monster that's now about to grab hold of you and tell you what's what. They attack the family unit. They attack, the foundation of our religions, our faiths. They put, one faith against another. They say, the big narrative, well, religions cause all the wars, which is bullshit. Religious wars were all caused by men. Never once did a religion cause a war. Always caused by men. So, this is the Lex Luthor time here. And so, having faith, in Trump. And it was nice to see Trump kick against the pricks. Literally. Um, um, no man is perfect. So what else did they bullshit? So yeah, so they came on to these pastors and preachers and priests saying, look, if you don't perform gay marriage, and I got nothing against gay people, so don't even go there. That's their business. My sex is my business. Their sex is their business. My way of life of building what you ride down the highway and the biker lifestyle is my business. It's nobody else's business. And that's who I am. It's the way of my people. But, they used, like, I remember being on a national phone call in the 2000 election. It was the guy who straightened out the last Liberal fiasco of debt, where Canada couldn't borrow anymore. What was his name? He was a finance minister for Chrétien when he was running. They come out and said if any pastors, anybody comes out against gay marriage or abortion, that they're going to take their nonprofit status away. So I was on, I don't know what I was on. I was on a Sunday Course Network phone call, about the election. And I told the announcer, dude, yeah, I read it in the National Post just before the National Post got subverted by CBC. And I said, yeah, no, I said they're going to take their nonprofit status away if they say anything about that. And you're making that shit up, da 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 da. And that was the first time I was accused of, what you see now every day. Anybody that doesn't go with the narrative is now a Nazi. Anybody that doesn't go with the narrative is this. Or, those are slanderous and liable. And all I'm trying to do is get people to figure out how to hold court, how to stand at court, how to get in and out of court. And sure, you want to get a lawyer, that's fine. But what if one of these days you lose your social credit, so now you can't have a lawyer, or now you can't have legal aid, or now let's say they froze all your bank accounts and you've been accused of a heinous crime of I don't know, kung flu denier, and now you're standing before the tribunal at an administrative hearing with all these fancy people, and you don't know how to conduct yourself. So you cry and you whine and you bitch and you complain and you tell them that you're not going to cross the bar because this is Admiralty law. That's not how a man conducts himself at court, whether you're in court or at court. So all I try to do is help people figure out, like, what jurisdiction. Is it a statutory jurisdiction? Is this a private court? Is this a public forum? Or are you at a court that can see man? Because right now the only thing we have left are the courts. Coppers pulling you over, spot checks, are unconstitutional. But the Supreme Court in 86, I think it was, decided that, well, it was okay just for alcohol, but you couldn't touch anybody, like, say, if they had an unpaid traffic, that you couldn't touch them. And it pissed the cops off at the time because they wanted full control. So, but now it's out of hand. Now they're coming into your house to give you a breathalyzer, 2 hours after you've been home, or 3, whatever. Or you're having an anniversary and you're in a restaurant with your wife, or you're at a blues bar, catching a big blues band or something cool, and coppers come in and give you a breathalyzer. If you don't give it to them, it's care and control. If you do give it to them, you're fucked because you're sitting there drinking. It's just like, this is all bullshit. These are manipulations. This is how the legal society manipulates folks. And it's all bullshit. Right? So we've put up with it. We've done nothing about it. Nobody stands. Nobody writes any other public, public servants about it. People don't know how to write public servant properly. People don't know how to write as the master of the house to their servant, and these guys just laugh at you and laugh at you. I mean, hey, come and vote for me. You know, for why? Why? So many people don't vote. What was the the eligible voters? How many voted? What was it? 30 some odd percent or something. And Trudeau got 30% of 30%. Because our public service has been totally infiltrated by insurrectionists, and now they're going to start bringing the fucking hammer down. They're already invading homes because the family had one too many family members over. You already have neighbors ratting out neighbors. You already have coppers beating people up, threatening children, wrestling young guys on the ice, salting ponds so they can't skate, waiting at the bottom of a toboggan hill, giving people outrageous fines because they have a right to forage for a living. They have a right to earn a living. And people don't know how to go to court and stand for themselves. They don't even know what jurisdiction the court is. So they pushed that lie loud enough and hard enough about your end of the world. Before that it was the I don't know, we spent at least 15 years listening to how the ozone layer was going to get sucked into space, and we were all going to die. These people that push these narratives have made themselves wealthy off the taxpayer and off the scam system that they're proposing on everybody to pay for. Al Gore wasn't worth shit, but he's got the carbon credit trading company. Now he's worth millions. Suzuki ain't worth shit. People don't realize Suzuki incorporated his name, David Suzuki, in 1978. So, like, if he wasn't working, for his non-profit, he was working as his corporation. So where do you think the Indians got, or not even Indians, where do you think these losers got the idea to incorporate an Indian name, and then go ahead and call themselves a tribe, when they're just a corporation stopping trains and trucks and people, verbally and physically assaulting people, just trying to get on with their lives, right? Just gonna roll this up. So the attack on the guns, FACs, totally illegal. It's not lawful. The federal government has no authority over guns. They have no authority over hospitals. They have no authority over many things that are provincial. We're yelling at the wrong people about the guns. The feds don't have the right. Nobody gave it to them. Well, we did through tacit acquiescence. Uh-oh. I have somebody bug me here. What's going on, young fella?
Doing a broadcast or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm doing one.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
What are you doing?
Just gonna go to the restaurant for a sec and go to the store.
I got my cup of tea. I should have internet tomorrow.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, how come you don't got internet?
It's my phone line's broken.
Oh, right.
And I got broadband, right?
Right. Okay. So they're gonna fix the line, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I think they're flying in from the Philippines.
All right.
Yeah, but I did fill out a complaint form with the CRTC.
Oh yeah.
You can't treat people like that, and that's what the CRT is there to do.
Yeah.
So now I'm a plaintiff.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Well, I seen you sitting here. I thought I'd better check.
Yeah, I was trying to do a call. It's probably not going to work out that good, but it's probably not going to work out that good because it's pretty dark.
You need one of them fucking LED lights.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. All right. I need summer. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I can mount this on my bike on the handlebars.
Yeah.
And then I can beak off when I'm going down the highway.
Right.
Yeah. Get arrested.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? Is there any latest and greatest going on right now?
Not for me. I'm just working out slowly and
Yeah.
getting my trying to get my strength back. I got pencil arms now from not,
Yeah, from not using them, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like this old man shit.
Yeah, no.
So
I don't either, but gotta move on, keep shuffling along, eh?
I got my wooden dummy.
Yeah,
I got my weight bench.
yeah,
I got my dog that takes me for walks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
So that's what I'm working on right now.
Right on, man.
I'll get into the rest of the shit later.
Yeah. Okay, well, as you were.
Okay, brother.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, small communities. You can run, but you can't hide. Ooh. Yeah. So what the fuck? Oh yeah. So where the hell was I? So basically, okay, so here we're right now, the court is the last, that's the last stronghold. Now, when you write your public servants letter, when you give them notices and stuff, send documents out to these guys. You create a lawful excuse for yourself too, right? So as long as we have the courts, as long as the courts adhere to the paperwork, that's supposed to run this public service, is supposed to run this country, is supposed to, everybody that's part of the legal society is supposed to adhere to, which, the Constitution, the Charter, and the two covenants, the human rights covenants. And when you're using these things as comparatives, not only do I believe, but I believe that the legal society maintains the same position. You'll find in the two covenants and the Charter, they really like to agree lots with each other, right? But I would be on my premiers about the onslaught of this whole gun thing. Just because Alan Rock, who was a Nazi, and Trudeau Sr., who was a communist, just because they brought through the FAC, which now you call PALS and all that stuff, just because they brought this shit through once doesn't mean that it's standard. And by our tacit by our tacit agreement, by acquiescence, we have allowed these guys to go on and go on. And if people don't put shit, the pen and ink to paper, and let these folks know that, no, I don't consent to your shit. I don't consent to this guy who acts as a heritage minter to interfere with any publisher. If somebody's holding a public platform, okay, or somebody's publishing off a public platform, unless they're actually breaking the law, there's no reason. Okay, all I heard from that turkey was, well, it hurt feelings and I got to do something about something. And so first off, they're gonna suck the money out of you to have a platform, for you, or to publish off a platform. They're after your coin, okay, and which makes it harder, because now you're gonna have to apply, you're gonna have to beg to have a website, you're gonna have to beg somebody for something. I don't think so. I don't need to beg City Hall or the courthouse to stand at the top of the courthouse steps and have a public platform. It's my right. That's what it's there for. That's why we have freedom of expression. And so by, these guys, when they passed the big scam of global warming, and just shut anybody down, and all narratives of speak, shut any scientists down, credible people that know what the fuck they're talking about, just shut them all down. They used extortion, they used social credit, besmirching their good names in public, right? They used financing, right? No, we're going to take your grant. You can't operate here as a professor anymore. We're taking your grant. So they shut everybody out. And now, with the Kung Flu, that's exactly what they're doing again. And so why you and I are arguing over fucking masks, why you and I are calling each other maskers, anti-maskers, and everything else, these guys are just getting away with shit. So they see a big picture, and all you see is this fucking narrow vision with the Clydesdale blinders, right? So they can't see fucking side to side, so that you can hate me and rat me out for having one extra family member over. Maybe it's not an extra family member. Maybe it's like that family in Scotland, and the man's daughter just got home from the hospital. And so what? They tackle the daughter, they tackle the father, they tackle their way into the fucking house. That's your domestic jurisdiction. That is your castle. You make the rules there. They have no right. Public law ends at the threshold. Okay, now there's natural law. If you're killing somebody in your house, yeah, this is why we have warrants. This is why warrants are signed by somebody, because the evidence is, beyond reproach. So somebody signs off on them. This is why there's supposed to be a bond that accompanies the warrant, so that if they got the wrong house, they break shit, this and that, you can sue something to get compensated for the wrong, or the mistake, or the error, or the error. Now, obviously, these people in uniforms are not beyond reproach, because those cops that beat the shit out of that old guy that apparently had a warrant out for child porn, they lowered themselves down to his level, because they took him in public and they beat the shit out of him, knowing fair well that there's who's gonna, what are you gonna do? Go fill out a complaint form down at the dispatch office? What are you gonna do? And that's the way. This is how all our institutions have failed us, because there's no way to hold these folks accountable. I mentioned that to somebody on Twitter the other day, and all I said was, the institutions have failed, and there's no way to hold anyone accountable anymore, a public servant accountable. And Twitter put a big fucking warning on my response to the guy. He tweeted me back, or whatever you fucking call it, and says, "Hey, Al, there's a warning on your," and we're both laughing about it, because that's the truth. That's the truth. So right now, all we have left, and I'd say before things get out of hand, before we end up like Syria, before we end up like Iran, before we end up like China, before we end up like Iraq, I think we need, or Guatemala, or Venezuela, I think we need to start holding folks to account at court. And it's really imperative that folks start to know who the fuck they are. I know, like, this is why I'm watching, I'm watching so-called common law guys, and I see what they're doing, I see the words they're using. Yeah, I sound like a fucking biker hillbilly when I'm talking to you folks. But when I do my paperwork, and it's going before, a court of record, I do my best to cross my I's or cross my T's and dot my I's. Anyways, we're on the verge of a complete socialist takeover, and as soon as that happens, we're one skip away from tyrannical communism. And that's how that's worked in the past. I don't see why it's going to change now. Too bad nobody's taught this shit in school. I almost quit smoking today. And too bad you don't know your history, so everybody's going to repeat it. Oh, just another thing, folks. Speaking about history, the folks that help these tyrants take over a nation, they're usually the first to get offed. They'll clean us out as so-called dissidents, or whatever they want to call us. They'll clean us out, And then, yeah, you're next. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're not safe. Oh, no. You'll be living in the same fear. Your children. Yeah, you may be a cop today, or you may be, say, an MP or an MLA, or you could be the Grand Poobah, okay, today. But your kids and your grandkids may not hold that same position. There could be a power struggle within your bullshit fucking tyrannical communist government, and then all of a sudden all your family's off to slave labor camps for organ transplants and stuff. Oh yeah, no, if it can happen to one, it can happen to all. So don't kid yourself with your bad attitude. Just besmirching other people, looking down your nose at other people that wish to keep their God-given right to speak freely, to express their opinion through books, through literature, through art, through speak, through poetry. The book burnings are not the way of the free world. Attacking the freedom of expression is not the way of the free world. You can reason away anything you wish. You can reason away anything you wish. Oh yeah, absolutely. And next thing you know, you have nothing. Except for fear. All the fear-mongering going on as well. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Anything else to touch on? Yeah, I created a Patreon account, and that's mostly for, like, if somebody does wish to email me about something or get a hold of me about something specific, and then I could converse with them on the private side through Signal or Telegraph, which they want to shut that down too. Oh yeah, how dare you have private conversations with folks? How dare you have privacy? You can't have privacy. Yeah, things ain't getting back to normal, folks. So use the courts for what they are until you can't use the courts anymore. Simple as that. Don't go in as a lunatic. Go in as a man or a woman. Go in as I don't know. What do you call somebody who gets a lawyer that goes, oh, an infant? Yeah, okay. Go in as an infant with a lawyer. It doesn't matter. I mean, there are some good lawyers. There are good people who act as lawyers. That's I don't know Barnes and Viva Fry fucking personally, but that's why I listen to those guys, because they're genuine. They come across as genuine. I've met lots of lawyers that were or wolves in sheep's clothing, and I've also met some just tyrants, that think they're extra special nice. And then I've also met a couple that were very high standing, very highly connected, and it didn't matter what you were on, they'd get you off because they could. That's the way the system has been. Remember, to have rule of law, the law has to apply to everybody. So if you have somebody who is exempt from the rule of law, then you don't have rule of law, you have rule of man. And right now, the government is totally acting as rule of man. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give two shits what you think about what they're doing and what they're going to do to you and your kids. They don't give a shit that some co-parent just took your kid away, disappear because their hormones are raging because they're 14 years old and they're all confused. Geez, weren't we all? And I couldn't stand up in class because I had a 24/7 boner. It was embarrassing. But like, I'm sure some poor young guy, they just want to cut it off and feed him full of drugs. Fuck nature. Fuck natural law. No. You that's because you don't know who you are. Come on. We'll go get an operation. And they're getting away with it. They're getting away with it. The fuck, the Nazis did this shit. Whatever. We're close enough to it. Anyways, hopefully there's oh, the other reason that these guys are emboldened so much is that they know they got you because they know you're all a bunch of infants and that you're not going to stand. They know that they're not going to go in the office tomorrow. Not that they're going in the office anyways, but they know they're not going to go in the office tomorrow and find 15,000 letters from the area to which they serve from the people telling them, no, I don't consent, stay the fuck out of the internet. They're not going to find that. You know, how many people want this fucking weirdo who calls himself a heritage minister? How many folks want this guy to come in and start interfering with the internet? Really? How many? Besides putting CBC and the three clowns that watch CBC with the loudspeakers, putting those clowns aside, how many folks wish to have this heritage minister come in and regulate, charge you money for say having a website or whatever, and then regulate you because you might hurt somebody's feelings? I have yet to see a law in the criminal code that says anything about hurt feelings. I have yet to see the mandate of the heritage minister to protect hurt feelings. Like, is there a minister of hurt feelings that was too busy to do the job, so the heritage minister, so the minister of hurt feelings went to the governor general and said, hey, look, I got too much on my plate, spending all the taxpayers' money with the foot fetish Freeland, and but the heritage minister says he can do the hurt feelings portfolio on my behalf? Because that's how it works, guys. Just because you get a minister with a mandate doesn't mean that they're actually doing that mandate. They can go to the governor general or lieutenant governor, depending on where you're at, and they can turn around and change portfolios. And so you could be writing to this guy and not know who the fuck, and he won't answer you because it's not in his portfolio, and he doesn't have to tell you now because you didn't ask. Hey man, I believe you're the man who acts as, I like putting, I believe you're the man who acts in trust as, because it's a trust company, okay? And they do act in trust. They are acting in trust. That's why they have an oath. And so I believe you're the man who acts in trust as, yeah. So, there's an issue here, and I don't wish to consent, and you need to know that I don't consent to you interfering with my right to publish publicly, and interfere with my freedom of expression. If you are not the man or woman who acts in trust that takes care of this matter, then you can send me back. You can send me back. Write me back and basically tell me who does, which office is, and who the minister is. And if you don't write me back, obviously we have an agreement of the parties that that you have no right to interfere with the freedom of expression on a public platform and interfere with publishers and the written word and the spoken word and the art of man. It's like, fuck, these control freaks. The Renaissance period was a time where the control freaks lost control. And that's why the Renaissance period was the Renaissance period. People freely expressed themselves. Nobody was going to come and kill them for it. Anyways, it's dark. Probably can't see this. It probably sucks. So I'm out of here.